Today we're going to explore the unrealistic expectations other people have of us, whether this be our partner, our stepchildren, a wider extended family. These can feel sometimes like a burden and we just don't quite know how to cope with them or how to push back on some of the expectations which we feel overwhelm us or just are completely unrealistic. Hopefully by the end of this video you'll have a clearer path of ways you can push back and how you can manage some of these unrealistic expectations. One common challenge many stepmothers face is the unrealistic expectations placed upon them, whether this be that you bond immediately with your stepchildren, that you love them just like your partner does, that the rest of the family do, that you become the unpaid babysitter for these children when your husband or partner want to go out and do anything, that you're just supposed to kind of pick up this role of mother and run with it. And sometimes it's just too overwhelming and you feel the need to push back. Let me tell you about one of our clients, Emily. She came to us after she had her first family Christmas with her new husband's children and extended family. She wanted it to be perfect and she went all out to make this what she felt would be the perfect Christmas. Presents, gifts on the table, she'd got all out with crackers, the whole 9 yards, all the trimmings from a Christmas lunch, and she was ecstatic when she thought they would all come over and they would instantly love what she had done. She'd placed huge, unrealistic expectations on herself of what she felt she should be doing. Anyway, everybody came over and the whole thing was a complete disaster in terms of the children were a little bit surly. They didn't look at her. They didn't really want to be there. They wanted to be at their other home for Christmas Day. She planned all these beautiful gifts and the children opened them, said thank you, but they didn't really seem very enthusiastic. She felt absolutely crushed by the whole experience. And then her mother-in-law said maybe she should have done it a different way, like the way his ex-wife used to do it, so that it would have made the children feel more comfortable. She just did not know how to deal with this and came to us for some advice. So this is the kind of advice that we gave her. First of all, you need to set clear boundaries. You need to know what your expectations are, and if other people have unrealistic expectations of you, you need to slightly push back on that. Have an honest conversation first with your partner so that you're both on the same page about the unrealistic expectations others have on you and what you're prepared to do, so that you know where your point of compromise is and where you can actually push back. For example, if they complain about the way you've done Christmas, simply say something like, well, I'm just finding my way in this new role, and of course I'd be willing to adapt some of the traditions, but I would like to start some new family traditions. Also, if you're not happy being the disciplinarian in the family for disciplining the children when they've done something wrong, you need to be honest about that, because you don't want to have to take on that role and others expect it of you if you feel really uncomfortable doing it. Also, if you're left looking after the children while your partner is out all day and you don't feel comfortable doing this, again, this is something you need to push back on. You need to have an honest, assertive conversation about how much time you're willing to give to babysitting and what you expect from them. For example, I know in my case, my partner would have his daughter over at the weekend and he wanted to go off all day and play football with the old boys club. But I did not feel comfortable spending all day while him and his ex-wife were both out doing their respective activities looking after his child. And especially when I had my own baby, I wanted to be with other mums who'd got young children the same age as mine and didn't want to be responsible for an older child. And I made this quite clear that she was welcome absolutely anytime you wanted her to come over, but he needed to be there. This was his time with his daughter. We could do things as a family, but I wasn't going to be left on my own with this child all day. Of course, the odd hour here or there I didn't mind so much, but not for a whole day. That was too much. That was unrealistic expectations, and his parents also expected me to do this, and they used to say things to me like, you should let him go off and do what he wants. He needs to have this outlet. But what they didn't realise is I was also working full time and the weekends were my outlet as well. So it's again about finding a compromise that you can actually make work for you, your partner and your family, and not be cowed by the expectations of others. Just because they expect you to do it doesn't mean you have to. Remember about managing your own expectations, because we can expect quite major things of ourselves as a stepmother. We expect to be perfect, to not to be in a mood, to make sure everything runs smoothly when the children come here. But again, that is unrealistic. Things don't always run smoothly. Things don't always go to plan. And sometimes, as they say, you have to roll with the punches. You just have to adapt to the circumstances as they are at the time. But if we expect ourselves to be perfect and don't give ourselves a break, we're always going to be found wanting in our own eyes, let alone the eyes of others. Another thing that we need to do is to communicate openly. For example, if a family member has expectations of you about doing things in a certain way, you can push back and say, I really appreciate your input here, but I'm finding my way in this role and I'm still adapting. Again, because that's true, when you first become a step parent, it is about finding out how things work, what works best for you and your family, and how you're going to navigate this in the future. And also practice self-compassion. Allow yourself to grow into the role and be kind to yourself. Being a stepmother can be a very difficult task, and you do need compassion from others, but also, more importantly, from yourself. Self-care is hugely important when you're taking care of other people's children, even your own children. Making sure that you're looked after is important. That's the old saying, put your own oxygen mask on first. Make sure that you're looked after and make sure that you are looking after yourself. So just to recap, set clear boundaries. Know where your boundaries are. Know where you're prepared to compromise. Secondly, manage your own expectations. Don't expect too much of yourself and be flexible within the expectations you have. And if others have unrealistic expectations of you, push back by saying something like I said, I'm finding my way in this role. I'm just adapting to it. You don't have to do what other people want or live your life to their expectations. And the third thing is to communicate openly and then practice self-compassion. Self-care is vital. It's about finding your own way on your own path and doing things that are right for you and your step family and your partner. If you found these tips helpful, please subscribe to our channel. And you can find other really useful information on our website, www.bestepwise.co.uk. Also, our YouTube channel has a wealth of information on it. Most of your questions can be answered there, but please put a question into the comments if you would like videos on any particular topics, and we'll be happy to accommodate. So please like, subscribe, and share this video if you think it might help other people. Thank you for watching. See you soon.